My name is Emily Hecht, and I am the Vice President of Creative for AwesomenessTv. I've been at Awesomeness since the very beginning, so I'm so excited to be here today. Welcome to the evolution of content. Thanks for being here today, and thanks to VidCon for having all of us. We have some really amazing guests today, so let's just get into it. First up, we have Kurt Hugo Schneider. Kurt is a music producer and filmmaker. He's directed tons of music videos for many prominent stars. Hi, Kurt.
What's up? How's it going? Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for being here. Next up, we have Dang Matt Smith. Matt is known for his reaction videos, and he won the Best YouTube Comedian Shorty Award in 2018. Hey, Matt.
Hey, what's up? What's up? I mean, you're embarrassing me with the award stuff. You know, it was one. It was just
you
one.
have to brag. That's pretty cool.
Just a little bit.
Love it. Next up, we have the Merrell Twins, Vanessa and Veronica Merrell. These YouTube sensations started making videos in 2009 and moved to LA from Kansas City to pursue their dreams. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Hi. So happy to be here.
Fun fact for everybody, Vanessa and Veronica share the same middle name, which I think is so fitting for you guys. I love that.
We do share the same middle name. It's Joe. J-O. Vanessa Joe, Veronica Joe.
It works perfectly. I love it. Well, thank you all so much for being here. Let's just get right into some questions. Sound good? Cool.
All right.
Okay, so I guess the first question that's on everyone's mind probably, how have you guys stayed creative during COVID and during these times? I would love to know. It's been hard for everyone, I'm sure. Let's start with you, Kurt.
Well, because we've been stuck at home for so long now, I started just making music with a bunch of random objects around the house. I've made like a lot of TikToks playing songs on my washing machine, actually. And also my door lock, it kind of like makes pitches when you like tap the buttons. So I've been sort of like trying to like program like really elaborate door locks that like play tunes when you unlock the door. So yeah, definitely not going insane over here. You know?
That's so creative, though. I love that. What about you, Matt?
You know what? For me, creativity, it starts with relatability. So a lot of my comedy, a lot of my videos come from stuff that actually happened to me in real life. Like just a few weeks ago, I have a confession. A few weeks ago, I went out to the gas station, went inside, paid for the gasoline, and then I left without pumping the gas. That's a skit right there, you know. So the creativity, a lot of it is just stuff that actually happens to me, and just try not to go insane, talking to myself a little bit, but nothing too crazy.
We all are. That's okay. Vanessa and Veronica, how about you guys?
I mean, just being honest, it has been kind of hard because it's sad times and it's kind of hard to be motivated when you're a little bit in the dumps. Well, in a lot of our skits that we do, we have to go out and buy props and stuff, or we go to a different location to film, and we haven't been able to do anything like that. So we've been kind of struggling with when it comes to like our skits like that. But kind of like what Matt was saying, like relatability is very important to making content. So we try to just do something that our audience is going to like and still enjoy, and even just being at home. So yeah, it's been difficult, but we're trying. We're doing it.
Good, I love it. Matt, going back to what you were saying about relatability, and especially being a comedian right now, is that hard? I know like what the Merrells were saying, like it's dark, and so I wonder, is that affecting your comedy at all? How do you find the humor in that relatability?
Yeah, you know what? A lot of it is just being transparent with everybody, because they're all going through something. I mean, with COVID, it's really hard, but letting them know that, hey, it's hard for me too, and kind of building that community where we can all come together and, because not everybody can go out. We can't go out and like talk to our friends. So we're coming to all of our channels. They're coming to the Merrell Twins channels, Kurt's channel, my channel, and a lot of other creators' channels to feel safe and to know that they're not alone. So me just keeping that in mind, I kind of put a little pressure on myself to be creative. And I think of it as a challenge. And a lot of it when I just, when people come to the channel and they're commenting, it motivates me to create more and to just be more open and let them know that, if my day's not going all that great, I say, hey guys, today's been a little bit tough, but you know what, we're going to get through it together.
That's great. I think all of you do such a great job being so transparent and honest with your audience. And I think that's so obvious in your numbers when you look at it and see your loyal fans. So I think that's great. So since starting your channels, when did you see the biggest change or momentum in your channels? Like what brought you to the next level? Kurt, let's start with you again.
Man, it was so long ago. I started my channel when I was in college. This was like 10 years back. I had a job working in a recording studio at the time. So I just had access to equipment that I could never afford. And I just started putting stuff on YouTube. It was about a year, I think, before anything like picked up, before I had any like big video. But then I would say, yeah, the first turning point for me was like a year after I started my channel when I had a video that got 1 million views. Just out of nowhere, which was like crazy to me. And that sort of allowed me to, kind of justify making a living out of this crazy thing that we do, which is just kind of throwing stuff on the internet. So, moved out to LA, started recording other singers. And that probably was, in terms of just my personal career, that was the biggest shift, just having, putting something online and having someone other than my mom care about it, but yeah, I mean, in terms of like the digital space, just stuff changing, not just like my personal channel, there's been obviously so many changes in just like, this space and just content creation in general.
Was the jump from moving to LA, was that a scary one for you?
Yeah, for sure. I lived on the East Coast my whole life, but when I moved out to LA, I actually moved out with 5 of my friends, and we got a place in West LA with like the 6 of us. It basically felt like some sort of like post-college dorm room sort of type of thing, where we all were just like in the common room, and it was crazy. One guy was an actor, another guy was a cinematographer. Someone was trying to write scores for movies. So we were all sort of like, I guess, on the grind or the hustle, whatever you want to call it. Just really trying to make it out here.
That's really cool. You did it. So great job.
Always trying, always feel like the struggle. So.
Matt, what about you? What was the biggest change or momentum you saw when you first started your channel?
You know what? I'm still waiting to see that momentum change. So, no. You know what? I started to see the change in momentum when I stopped being afraid of what people thought of my content. When I first started out, probably just like Kurt, the first year, it's kind of like, you're dipping your toes in the water and you're really feeling it out, trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? How am I, trying to find your way on YouTube and trying to find your voice and, what style best fits yourself and your personality. So, after the first year, I just kind of started to let go and just kind of, just ease into it. And then honestly, that's when I started to see people responding more positively. A lot of the comments at first I'm sure everybody can attest to it. It starts with a little bit of hate, and it can be deflating at times. But, if you keep with anything in life, if you keep pressing forward and you keep moving forward, block out the haters, you're going to see, a brighter side to the hard times.
That's great. Haters mean you made it. So good job. Vanessa and Veronica, how about you guys? What was the turning point for your channel?
I think it's kind of interesting with our channel because we've never had a video that went like super, super viral, like overnight. All of our videos have just gradually like throughout like the week or like throughout the times it's been live and on our channel, we'll get millions and millions of views later. So it's just like very interesting. There was never a moment where we were like, oh my gosh, we made it on YouTube. It's just always been a very steady incline with our growth and like the views on our videos. And we've always said that we're like the slow turtle in the race. You know, there's like some creators that are like the rabbit that are just like boom, and then you're just like but and then you're like, okay, I just got to remember that I'm the slow turtle in the race. And
Yeah, you know, and what we're doing works for us, and our audience obviously likes our videos, and so we're just doing what we're doing. And I guess when we first like realized like this is our job, this is what we are focusing on, this is like our main thing, it was kind of maybe like 3 years into consistently posting videos on YouTube.
I still can't believe this is my
Honestly, same. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like a job. It just feels like a super fun hobby that we do that we just happen to like make a little bit of money from. So it's just really fun, and we feel so blessed to be in the positions we are, and it's all thanks to our audience and our fans and for all their love and support. So it's just been a really cool journey, and I wouldn't have it any different.
I think when you guys are talking about the slow turtle, that's really funny. I've never heard that, but it really speaks to your capability to create content that's so evergreen that just like the audience wants to watch it no matter what time it is, years from now. So I think that's such a great skill that you guys have.
Thank you.
So kudos.
Thank you.
Kurt, you touched on this a little bit, but you were one of the OG YouTubers creating and producing covers on YouTube. The music landscape on YouTube has changed, and just YouTube in general has changed so much. How have you managed to adapt over, it's been 10 years, right?
Yeah,
so that's forever.
Think about it, it's like coming up on like 12, I think. So I don't want to show my age too much, you know, but yeah, how have I managed to adapt? I don't know. You know, stuff is always changing, not just on YouTube, but like everywhere. Like you want to make it anywhere. Like you have to be able to adapt to everything going on. So, you know, on YouTube, like I'm still trying to figure it out. First of all, like I personally feel like I have no clue what I'm doing, and people just think that, you know, we have a clue, or at least think maybe I have a clue. I don't. I think I've tried to adapt my content to be a little more longer form. You know, when I first was starting on YouTube, I basically pretty much exclusively posted like music videos and stuff that I filmed with other artists. But there was like 3 to 4 minute content. So, and I still post a lot of that too. I've tried to adapt a bit more to, you know, longer form here means like, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes or something, where the first, you know, 8 minutes is you see me like throwing together the song and like laying down the piano and the bass and the guitar. And, you know, I also just record with a bunch of just literally random stuff that you wouldn't think of as instruments. But that first little bit of throwing that all together, and then the payoff is 3 to 4 minutes at the end. That's the music video. So, you know, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. So
that's great.
I don't want to pretend to be an expert.
No, you're so right, though. It's all about being able to adapt in anything in life, just being able to really find the new cool thing. I think you're absolutely right. I guess one follow-up question to that, has there been a moment in those 12 years where there's just been, like, what's your biggest challenge been there, where you're just like, I don't know what to do next?
You know, I feel like, at least with me, and I feel like probably a lot of creators might feel the same way, you got like, over years, you got highs and lows, you know, and there's times when you're like, I feel like I'm putting a lot of energy and effort and love into the content, but, you know, maybe it's not getting the same number of views or comments or whatever that stuff got before. And then there's other times when I feel like, man, this video I made is kind of like, I'm just doing the same stuff I did a few years ago, and I don't even know if I'm doing it better now. And this one happened to go viral. So it's like, you know, you can't predict the randomness of the internet. And I feel like, man, now I even lost what the question was. But
you answered it. It was just about the challenges.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest challenge is just like your challenge with yourself and creating, because, you know, the effort that you put in is totally not correlated a lot of times with what you get out of it. So I feel like for me, over 10, 12 years, whatever it's been, I just try to just make stuff that I like. And, you know, hopefully it reacts with people and other people like it too. But you're going to have highs and you're going to have lows. And I just feel very fortunate and very blessed. So I just try to make things that I enjoy.
That's great. With so many different platforms out there and more emerging every day, really, how do you tailor your content to each platform? Let's start with you, Veronica and Vanessa.
Oh, okay. Well, let's say, like, you know, TikTok has been super popular, and we've made a couple TikToks here and there. But how we incorporate into our content, you know, we've done lots of videos doing TikTok trends and stuff, and that's one way that we try to cross promote or just, you know, get on both platforms and stuff. Or we did a video where we tried to pretend to post as each other on our Instagrams and try to prank our audience. And so that's how we included our Instagram, you know, even with like questions we take from Twitter. We'll ask people on Twitter to send us questions and stuff. So we try to use like all of our social media platforms, and at the end of the day, it always goes back to YouTube. That's just the reality. Because YouTube is our number one main priority. We love YouTube. And as much as fun as TikTok is, it's not our main focus. But we do like to incorporate what's popular right now, what's going on, what our audience is into at the moment. It's really funny when we go on TikTok and we post a video, there's like comments that say, "Oh my gosh, you were my childhood." And it's just like, it's like, oh no. I'm like, am I old? I used to watch you all the time. Why don't you watch me anymore? Why don't you watch us now? What happened?
That's amazing.
I don't know if we answered your question.
You answered it. It was beautiful. Great job. Matt, how about you? How do you tailor content for each platform? And also, how do you find the time to dedicate content to each platform?
You know what, going back to what the Merrell Twins said, it is the worst when people say, "I used to watch you all the time." I'm like, well, come on, like, what about now? Like, you got all the time in the world now, right? You know, lockdown and everything. But honestly, like you said, there's so many different platforms out there. So, you know, for me, I focus the most. I'm at my best when I focus on a few, you know, so I try to pick it out where whichever platforms I enjoy the most, it's just so happens to be YouTube. I don't know, it just feels, it's a perfect fit for my personality and my style. TikTok has actually become, you know, pretty up there as well. And, you know, tailoring my content to each platform, it kind of goes, you know, YouTube, obviously the longer form content. So I could really, you know, kind of talk to people. I've got time to, you know, more so be myself, talk to people and, you know, do like 10-minute, 20-minute videos if I want. TikTok, you know, I try to keep it like, you know, those 15 seconds, something super quick. It can be a lot of times on there, I'll do the pranks, you know, I like prank my girlfriend and, you know, prank my friends, something super, super quick and easy that people could just, you know, oh, that was funny. And then keep scrolling. And then, you know, with Instagram, I try to just do like the skits on there, you know, the relatable skits that we were talking about earlier. So, and then even Facebook, sometimes I'll just cut down the best moments from my YouTube videos and then just post those on Facebook. So, you know, you just got to choose what works best for you. And time management is probably like the hardest thing, one of the hardest things that I've had to, you know, really learn and figure out doing YouTube, because you got to figure out, all right, how much time do I spend, you know, writing, filming my YouTube videos? How much time do I spend, you know, working on other things, working on merch and stuff? I just came out with this little guy, you know, the dang dog right here. He is available, crowdmade.com/dangmatsmith. All right, anyway. I'm sorry, he just came out. I was working on him for a long time. So, you know, shameless plug. But anyway, yeah, you guys want to see him real quick? That's
really cute.
Okay, anyway. But hopefully that answered your question. I mean,
that was great.
Yeah.
I think something that you do so well, and you all do so well, is you're so consistent with your brands across all of your different social media. It's really just an extension of your YouTube content, which I think is just so smart. Right. Kurt, how about you? How do you find the time? How do you tailor your content to each platform?
Let's see. I mean, for me as a musician, A platform that has always been really important for me is Spotify as well. It's kind of less relevant to other creators, but Spotify is like makes up a large portion of streams, which is essentially the equivalent of views on YouTube. So, you know, as far as like what does well on one platform, it's not necessarily going to do well on another. So, you know, the stuff that works on TikTok like might not work on YouTube and vice versa. Stuff that works and does well on Spotify, gets a ton of streams on Spotify, it might not do as well on YouTube. Like, you know, every platform has its own sort of like metric or algorithm that sort of is driving growth. You know, YouTube, it's like, well, do people want to click on this? Like TikTok, it's like, do people want to share this, and are people going to like what's the watch time like? On Spotify, it's more about listener duration. So how long can you get people to listen to your stuff? So, you know, and it might seem like these are all somewhat related, but actually like they're pretty different. Like on YouTube, are people going to click on a video? That's actually a very different piece of content that's going to perform there than is going to perform on Spotify when you just want to get people to continue listening to your streams. So, you know, as far as how do I divide the time, obviously it's, you know, I think with all of us creators, if something is working, you know, we're going to put more time and energy into there. So, you know, in some ways where you put the time kind of decides itself based on, you know, the audience reaction and just what, you know, how much you're sort of getting in terms of response from these various platforms. So, you know, I don't know. Nowadays, it's probably like, I guess YouTube is still larger than any individual one other place in terms of time spent. But I would say there's a lot of platforms that just sort of pull your focus, you know? And for me, Spotify, TikTok, some other ones, you know, whole bunch of stuff thrown in there.
That makes a lot of sense. The Spotify one is, of course, such a no-brainer for what you do, but it's something I wouldn't have even thought of. So that's so interesting.
Yeah.
So when is the right time to reinvent yourself and your content? Like kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier of just the ever-changing landscape of YouTube and just digital in general. When is the right time to reinvent? And have there been times when you hit a wall and you don't know what content to create? Matt, let's start with you.
Yeah, you know what? It's different for everybody, but for me, the best time to reinvent, it kind of starts here. You kind of feel it. You just know, you're like, all right, I've been doing the same type of videos for 3 years. Look at the time. Yeah, I think it's time to change it up just a little bit. You know, luckily having different platforms does help. So you're like able to do skits on one or do, you know, reaction videos on another, vlogs on something else. But yeah, so something like YouTube, coming up with different content and when's the best time. You know, sometimes the best time is when the views aren't so high. You know, sometimes the best time is when the activity the engagement isn't as good. You read the comments and people, they'll kind of tell you, you know, it's like, oh, hey, you should do this instead, or you should try this out. So staying very active and involved with your audience is super important. And, you know, not just kind of, oh, let me post a video and, you know, not read, you know, I don't always read the comments, but, you know, just, oh, let me post a video and then just, all right, go about my day and do, you know, not look at how it's doing, staying heavy into the analytics. And, you know, that was one thing that I never thought I'd be so into, but now I'm just like, okay, audience retention, click-through rate, what's it all looking like? So a lot of that plays a part. And then, yeah, basically if the videos aren't doing as good as I want them to, or as they should, or if I'm just kind of feeling like, oh man, I might be burning out, then, you know, change it up and just be open with the audience, be transparent with them and say, hey guys, you know, I've been doing the same thing for a while. I want to try something else out. Comment down below. Let me know what I should try out, what I should do. And yeah, they'll be honest with you. They'll be fair. And yeah, it'll work out.
That's great. One of my favorite things about YouTube is that you can get such immediate, direct feedback from your audience by the comments. It's the best. Being able to just cater your content to what they want to see is just amazing. It's
exactly.
Great. Vanessa and Veronica, how about you guys? When's the right time to reinvent yourself and your content? And then have there been times when you hit a wall and you don't know what to do next?
Yeah. I think, well, kind of touching what Matt was saying about the audience does let you know what they're into and what they love seeing you do. And so, we also live stream on YouTube. We have our own live streaming channel. And even on that channel, we're getting ideas and recommendations and of what our audience wants us to do on our main YouTube channel. And so I guess throughout the years, we've always done like the skits and stuff. But I think we've just changed when it comes to like trends, what's popular. If you stay the same and you don't adapt to, what's going on and what's popular and what people like, then you're not going to grow. Yeah. I think one thing that we've always done for our channel, we've always pushed ourselves to do better than what we have done in the past. Like even right now, we could be doing better. But because of COVID, we can't really do certain things. But like one way we started being better than what we were previously doing was when we started doing our series, when we hired a full production team to help us make this series. Like we've done a couple series on our channel. And so for me, that's the answer of reinventing ourselves, is just pushing ourselves to do higher quality content than what we have been doing, because ultimately that's what we want to do. We've always wanted to act, but we can't get acting roles because traditional media doesn't really believe in YouTubers. So we'll give ourselves the opportunity. Yeah. And it's just kind of crazy, all of that. But like what she was saying, we just push ourselves with the quality of our content. We just want to put the best high quality content out there. So like our series Prom Night, that was us very pushing and reinventing of like what we can do on our channel. Yeah. And we want to do a lot more series like that, where it's like Netflix quality stuff. Yeah. And so when we're feeling like we need to do another series, like that's when we feel like we should start pushing ourselves to do something like that. But creator burnout is a huge thing that a lot of YouTubers face. And I think with us, when we've felt anytime we felt burnout or anything, the difference with us is we have each other. So one of us is probably creative while the other one is being like, and it happens. It like switches off and on. Well, hold on. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so we've learned, and what we've learned from other YouTubers, other creators, is to get a team, have people help you. Don't put all the stress and hard work on yourself. Like if you can get someone to help you edit your videos, or someone to help you write your videos or give you ideas, even if it's just someone helping you make thumbnails, like there's so many parts that go into making a YouTube video and that people don't even realize. So, when you have help with that, it really does relieve a lot of stuff. And I think that's when we like made a really big change in our YouTube careers, is when we started to bring on more people that really helped us grow and get more creative.
That's great. That makes a lot of sense. And I loved Prom Night. So keep it up. It's so great.
Thank you.
Kurt, how about you? I know you touched a little bit on this earlier when you were talking about your 12 years on YouTube, but do you have any more advice on creator burnout? I think is a big piece of that. And then, just reinventing yourself.
Totally. I completely feel what Matt said about when you're just sitting around, you're like, I've been making this kind of video for 3 years, same kind of video. Because I felt that way a number of times over however many years, and a lot of times when I feel like I'm making the same video that I made 3 years ago, usually I'm making kind of a less inspired version of it too. So, for me, musically, it's sort of a mix of just trying to just do something that just doesn't sound like something I've done before, because I feel like it's so easy to try to just copy yourself. And the one person you're always allowed to rip off and copy is yourself. So, you had something that did well, was successful. It's so easy to just try to copy it. And eventually at a certain point, it doesn't work anymore. It just, so, at that point, it's like, you gotta just force yourself to try something you just haven't done before. So I don't know. It's tough. It's like it feels hard every time. I feel like forcing yourself to be creative. But at the same time, it's also the best job in the world. So, but I feel like, to me, that's kind of burnout when you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again, and maybe you're not getting the same, whatever. That's kind of what drives burnout for a lot of creators. So, I don't know, forcing yourself to try something new. And we have this awesome platform where you can just try whatever. And, a lot of times a lot of times people like it when you try something new too. So it's just, it's hard creatively, but I think, kind of got to do it.
That's great. Forcing yourself to be creative is one of the hardest things. That's not something you can just like turn on whenever you want. It's like, has to come to you. Totally get that. Fun question from the audience for you guys. Where would you be right now if YouTube wasn't a thing, and why? Matt, let's start with you.
I would be cleaning porta potties if YouTube was not a thing. And why? Because I used to do that as a job. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Look, I had a friend in school who I guess his dad had like a porta potty business. And people would pay to to rent out the porta potty. And he's like, hey, Matt, come work for me or work with me. The thing is, he never told me what he did. I was like, oh, yeah. What are we doing? Some construction? It's like, no, we're cleaning porta potty. So it was a little, yeah. But I mean, who knows where I would have been? I guess my dream at the time before starting YouTube was, hey, I want to do the acting thing. I want to get out there and kind of, be in the movies. I want to be in the movie with The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That's why, he would look like the Hulk and I'd look like a celery stick. But, it was a dream that I had. And then since YouTube came along, it just offered so much freedom to be creative, to be yourself, to work for yourself, and not really have to, report to anybody. You can just have that freedom to do whatever you want and see how it works. And like you were saying earlier, get that immediate response, whereas if you film, if you act in a movie, you got to wait till production wraps up, and then they got to edit the whole thing. And then you do like news, press, and all that. And then there's the premiere, and then you see how you did. So it's tough. It's tough on that side. But yeah, I just love the freedom of social media. And I feel like I probably eventually would have ended up doing maybe more acting roles and going that traditional route.
Great. Vanessa and Veronica, how about you guys?
Well, what's crazy is we started acting when we were young. We were like in sixth or fifth grade when we booked our first gig. So for us, it's kind of hard to imagine like what we would be doing because we were doing it at such a young age. But I do have an answer because we didn't know that, we were booking stuff in Kansas City, Missouri, but we moved out to LA when we were 16. So during that time frame, it was a big life decision. Like, do we want to stay here the rest of our lives, always wondering what could have been, or should we just leave and go and just take the leap of faith? And my backup plan, if acting didn't work out, was to become a meteorologist because for some reason I was really good at weather when we did that subject in middle school. So I was like, it's on TV still. I'll get to point to things. There's a cold front coming from the west. Like, could you see it? I could see it, but that was definitely my backup job for sure. Yeah. Something I would have studied in college.
Yeah, when I was a freshman in high school, I was focusing on broadcast journalism. I wanted to be a news anchor, and my freshman year of high school, my dream was to go to USC, study broadcast journalism, become a news anchor, and I think that's where I was headed. So that's probably what I would have been doing. We probably would be like what Matt said, just somewhere in the industry, just not on YouTube, obviously, if YouTube didn't exist. So yeah, I think we'd both end up somehow in the broadcast journalism world.
Great. I love that. Kurt, how about you?
Oh man, I'd probably be doing something that's going to sound really boring. I mean, I got my degree in mathematics, and I really enjoy computer science. Like, I actually do genuinely love that stuff. But to most people, that sounds like so boring. So I don't know. I'd probably be like some analyst somewhere, looking at a bunch of numbers. Honestly, I'd probably be doing that. So this is better for sure.
I love that, though. That's such a fun fact. That's great. Vanessa and Veronica, so you recently produced a scripted 4-part series on your YouTube channel, Prom Night, which you were talking about a little bit before. Are you looking to do more scripted series on your channel? Are we looking at a sequel for that? Where are you guys' heads at?
Yeah, the answer is yes to both.
Great.
We would like to do season 2 and stuff, but we also love coming up with new ideas and producing just different storylines. Well, and right now, obviously, it's tough. It's very tough. And Prom Night was not just us and our dad filming. It was us, our dad directing. We had a videographer. We had 2 people using cameras. We had a first AD, which is first assistant director. We had a second assistant director. We had a sound guy, PAs. We had lighting. We had makeup. We had wardrobe. We had everything. Like, it was like a full-on set, like what you would see for a movie or a TV show. And obviously, we would love to do more of that in the future, but we can't do that right now because of coronavirus. So we do have some ideas that are a longer form series for our channel, another series that it's in the works right now that we're going to do that follow COVID guidelines, which is just going to be us 3 again, like how our normal videos are, where I'm going to be holding the boom mic and then my dad's filming and then she's doing the prom, like, say it again, but we'll rent a better camera for it so it'll look better. Yeah. But yeah, we definitely have a lot more ideas that we want to do for the future. And we have even, movie ideas, show ideas that we want to take to Netflix, take to like Hulu or all those big platforms. But at the end of the day, we love YouTube. So YouTube's our main thing. But going back to pushing ourselves, during COVID and all the regulations and stuff and not being able to film, like Hollywood's shut down. So I think what we're trying to do is to figure out a way to create the best series with the least amount of people.
Love it. Let me know if you figure it out.
That's the goal. And I think we'll figure it out, but we'll see.
That's great. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that. Another question from the audience that's a fun one. How are you guys able to handle stress when you have to stick to a certain schedule and when you have to deal with drama in your own personal lives? So, Kurt, let's start with you on that one.
How do we handle stress? I feel like I just, for some reason, I think of myself as a reasonably chill person. So, most of my day I just kind of spend sitting here, we're just working and whatever. I feel like, if I'm stressed out, I just go take a walk around the block, I just do something and just get my mind off of it. Just something that's totally not related to YouTube or working, I'll solve a little Sudoku, I mean, really that stuff kind of de-stresses me. I feel like we all have those little things that kind of just work for us, take our mind off of the work that we're doing. But yeah, I don't know. That's it for me. I take a bath, solve a Sudoku, walk around the block. I don't know, something like that.
That's great. No, that's great advice. I love that. It's so true. You just have to get out of your own mind, basically.
Yeah, stop thinking about this 24/7. It's not everything in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, how about you?
You know what really helps me de-stress is cleaning porta potties. No, I'm kidding. No, that. What honestly really helps me de-stress is, I'm actually a musician as well. I play piano, drums, guitar. So I don't showcase it as much on my videos. I do sometimes on Instagram, but a lot of times just me playing music. And maybe it is because I don't do that as my main thing for my YouTube videos. It's something separate that I do. I play some sports, believe it or not. I play a little basketball and just kind of going, not staying in front of the computer the whole time, I think is good. Just kind of, as Kurt was saying, stepping away, walking around the block, kind of doing whatever you have to do to ease your mind. Some people meditate, some people just sleep, some people eat, to kind of de-stress, and that's cool. That's, each person's different. So the best thing to do is just find out what works for you. Even, for me, I guess, recently just scrolling on TikTok kind of helps me de-stress. Watching other people's content and laughing at stuff that they've done really helps me a lot. So definitely, music, sports, watching other people's videos, it really helps put me at ease. And if anything, it motivates me to produce more content, because I'm like, oh man, if I'm enjoying their content and people, it kind of hits you, you realize, oh man, people are enjoying my content. Let me produce more for them so that they have something to help de-stress them. So it's, it's the circle of life.
I love that. That's so true. You're like the escapism for your audience. That's so accurate.
Right.
Vanessa and Veronica, how about you guys? How do you handle stress?
So I sleep. So
Good advice.
The question she said they said something about drama, stress, and work. Yeah, that happens. And so I guess what we do is, what's the biggest priority? And at the end of the day, it's yourself. When it comes to drama, always take the high road. Don't stoop down to people's level. And if they're causing you stress, maybe rethink those relationships, or think about what you did, or think about the situation. If you're not in the wrong, then you need to realize that you shouldn't be stressing out because you did nothing wrong, and that person's just being dumb. And then when it comes to stress, that's because of all the things that are happening. So you literally have to prioritize what's important in your life. And, taking time for yourself is the biggest priority, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, YouTube is a 24/7 job. Like, social media is just 24/7. You don't escape it. You can't escape it. It's always there. Even if, you're scrolling through TikTok, even if you're just scrolling, watching, like, you're participating with social media. And, even when I'm relaxing, because I do the same as Matt, I will relax by watching TikToks, and I laugh at TikToks too. But I'm still working because I'm like, oh, that could be a fun video idea, like, if we do that. So it's just like, it's never ending. And so for me, when I do actually want to just stress or like relieve my stress, I do sleep. I take a nap. And I really have time to take a nap. So I try my best to get a lot of rest, because the way my body works and how her body works too is, if we overwork ourselves, we get sick. Our bodies force us to rest by getting sick. And so that's happening to me recently, and I'm all like, oh my gosh, coronavirus. But no, it's just me, my body saying, you need to rest. So that's just what we do. We just have to just kind of chill out and do nothing. It's scientifically proven that a 15-minute nap does wonders to the brain. Just saying.
Totally. It's a refresh. It's great advice. I think you're absolutely right. Okay, our last question, guys. So sad, but what does the future hold for your content? What would you like to do next? Kurt, let's start with you.
Always trying to work with more and more talented people. I feel so lucky that because of this platform, I get to work with a ton of incredibly talented singers and just artists. And, always trying to, work with crazy people on crazy ideas. As far as platform stuff, outside of YouTube, there's always putting stuff on the Spotify's of the world. I'm probably going to keep doing some very stupid things on TikTok around my house with my washing machine and door lock. So, probably a lot of silliness lies ahead as well. But, ultimately, I try to have fun now. Just take it, one project at a time and do things that I really enjoy. So, I think that's probably one of the most important things.
Great. I look forward to the silliness. I love that. Matt, how about you?
You know what? In the future, for me, it's going to be the constant evolution of content. You guys see what I did there with the title of this panel. But yeah, no, seriously, it's going to be, constant evolution. So before, kind of now, a lot of my YouTube content is reaction videos. And then that might evolve, more into some skits, more relatable stuff that I was doing on Instagram. Might take that and make it more long form for YouTube and see how that works. And yeah, definitely just trying different things out. As the Merrell Twins said before, Hollywood shut down. So eventually when things kind of open back up, hopefully more acting roles, more... a little bit of the traditional side, try to mix that in there. And of course, can't forget more of these guys. Yeah, more of these guys. So, maybe we'll build him a family, get like, four more, got to collect them all. And then we're going to see. We're going to see. So, yeah, definitely just diversifying and kind of trying out more outlets than just content creation. We all have a brand and we want to build that to something that's not just, oh, they're just a YouTuber or they just do social media, but, want to turn it into a legitimate business. Oh, hey, got my own office, got my own production studio, got my own this, got my own that, and just expanding. And then, eventually you get taken even more seriously with high level executives, with high-level casting directors, producers, directors, etc. So, yeah, for me, just constantly expanding and eventually taking over the world.
I love it. Excited to watch you do it.
Yeah.
Vanessa and Veronica, how about you guys?
We are... trying to do series. Yeah, that's it. Ours is very similar to Matt's. We just want to produce higher quality content on our channel and do more series. We want to, when Hollywood opens back up, we want to go on auditions again. We want to be in movies. We want to star in shows. I think, I think our biggest goal is to, with our production company, sell movies, sell TV shows, produce shows, star in them. That would be super cool to be like Tina Fey, who like writes her own movies, produces her own movies, and stars in them. Yeah. That's always been our goals and our dreams, and so I think that's where we would hope to be in the future. Yeah, I think for us, we have these big dreams and goals, but we got to remember that we're the slow turtles, and baby steps, just baby steps towards your goals, and we're going to get there eventually. Mm-hmm.
That's great. I love that. You guys will kill it. It'll be great. Does anyone have any final thoughts before we wrap up? Any last things to say to everyone watching?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Stay safe. Please wear a mask if you go outside.
Yeah, everybody, please stay positive, stay strong out there. I mean, we're all going through it, but if we stick together and just know that eventually things are going to slowly get back to normal, we can make it through. Do whatever you need to do to kind of de-stress, relax, take those 15-minute power naps, and yeah, guys, we're going to make it through.
It's gonna be good. Don't take everything so seriously. Be one thing. I would say. And just